ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। May the Divine lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace.
The brief meaning of today's song. My life is surrendered at your feet. All desires and all attachments have lost their meaning. I have been wandering and lost until now. How much more wandering aimlessly? I want only you. This is the only wish of my heart. My heart yearns for you, Ma. My life surrendered at your feet. All the good and bad are surrendered to you, Ma. Remove all the miseries, Ma. Break away all ties. Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayoshritva Pranamami Murmuhu. Namah Shri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukha Swarupaya Swamine Tapaharine Swamine Tapaharine. मेरा जीवन तेरी शरण, मेरा जीवन तेरी शरण। सारे राग विराग हुए अब, सारे राग विराग हुए अब। मोह सारे त्याग हुए अब, मोह सारे त्याग हुए अब। एक यही मेरा बंधन, मेरा जीवन तेरी शरण, मेरा जीवन तेरी शरण। अविरत रहा भटकता अब तक, अविरत रहा भटकता अब तक। भटकूं और अभी मैं कब तक, भटकूं और अभी चरणों पर हो अर्पण मेरे जीवन के गुण अवगुण सारी व्यथाएं दूर करो माँ, सारी व्यथाएं दूर करो माँ। ओ कुसुमित मेरा नंदन, मेरा जीवन तेरी शरण, मेरा जीवन तेरी शरण। सारे राग विराग हुए अब, मोह सारे त्याग हुए अब, सारे राग विराग हुए अब, मोह सारे त्याग हुए अब। एक यही मेरा बंधन, मेरा जीवन तेरी शरण, मेरा जीवन तेरी शरण। जय जय माँ, जय माँ, जय जय माँ, जय जय माँ, जय माँ, जय जय माँ, जय माँ, जय माँ, जय माँ, जय जय माँ, जय माँ, जय जय माँ।
I am reading from the book Go Forward, a short passage about the life of Swami Kripamayananda, a disciple of Holy Mother and one of the very holiest monks in the Ramakrishna order. Swami Shraddhananda has beautifully summed up Premesh Maharaj's spiritual attitude in his Atiter Smriti, the story of an epoch. We find a wonderful harmony of karma, bhakti, yoga and jnana in the life of Premesh Maharaj. He was a poet, a songwriter, a wise critic and an educator. There was no limit to his love and sympathy. Whoever sat in his presence for any time at all would have his heart pacified. Gradually, at the end, his life, which has been like the service to the Ramakrishna order in Sarghachi, began to fall apart. His health was completely broken down due to various illnesses, and in December 1962, he was admitted to the medical college in Calcutta for treatment. Then he was shifted to the Ramakrishna Mission Sevashram in Varanasi to spend the final days of his life. He stayed there from 1963 to June 1967, waiting for the moment when he would once more return to his beloved Holy Mother. Premesh Maharaj passed these 5 years in Varanasi in a wonderful world of spiritual experiences. He had lost his power of sight, his body was reduced to skin and bones, and there was no end to the miseries of old age. Day and night he had to bear all kinds of medical treatment, allopathic, homeopathic, etc., and take varieties of foul tasting medicines. 3 or 4 attendants remained with him at all times. And in the midst of all this, Pramesh Maharaj, this great soul, remained like a small child. Though still dwelling in the body, he seemed to be constantly absorbed in a realm beyond the body. His main attendant at this time, Sanatan, later Swami Suhitananda, wrote in a letter to Alok, later Swami Achyutananda. The amazing thing is that though he has so much pain in the body, he still seems to be in a great state of bliss, supremely unconcerned, resting his head, as it were, on the bosom of the mother. I have never seen such a carefree person. I cannot comprehend where his mind dwells, in what elevated plane he has kept it fixed. Seeing him so jolly and cheerful in the midst of so much of suffering, Swami Madhavanandaji once asked him, "How is it that you are able to remain so joyful when there is so much suffering in the body?" Pramesh Maharaj replied in all seriousness, "When I reflect on the fact that day by day I draw closer to the eternal abode of bliss, where I shall be in the presence of Sri Ramakrishna and Ma Sharada, I become filled with joy. Isn't that something to feel joyous about?" One day Pramesh Maharaj was attended to by one Hem Kaviraj. So he was an Ayurvedic doctor from Calcutta who was a devotee of Swami Brahmananda. One day Pramesh Maharaj said to him in a weak voice, "In the beginning of my life, I fell into the clutch of M. Kaviraj," referring to M, the recorder of Kathamrita. "And now at the end of my life, I have fallen into the grip of M. Kaviraj." M. Kaviraj's medicine had the sweet taste of Kathamrita to soothe the burning soul. "But my child, this medicine of Hem Kaviraj only increases the burning." What a wonderful sense of humor! Day and night he remained immersed in an ocean of love and joy. One had only to listen to the words of those who lived with him to understand this mood of his. A few days before his passing away, his attendant said to him, "Maharaj, your physical condition is gradually deteriorating. I have 1 or 2 questions I would like to ask you. Kindly say a few words about these things." Pramesh Maharaj calmly said, "Ask." The attendant said, "Do you remember your chosen ideal?" Maharaj replied, "Yes." Then the attendant asked, "Maharaj, do you see Thakur and Mother even now?" Maharaj replied, "Yes." He asked, Does that image move about?" Maharaj replied, "I see the form of Thakur as he looked in Samadhi, but Mother moves back and forth. And I see Swamiji as a wandering monk with his staff in his hand." Then he said, "Don't ask any more questions." He answered.
Now a short period of meditation. Good morning, friends. Today's topic is tranquil mind. We are all aware of our mind, how restless it is, and we really want it to be peaceful, calm, and tranquil. We understand what is meant by tranquil mind. When the state of our mind is peaceful, quiet, and serene, it is a tranquil mind. Such a mind is free from disturbance, agitation, or turmoil. In other words, it is free from anxiety and restlessness. That our mind at the stage when it is tranquil in ordinary case, Swami Vivekananda said, our mind is like a monkey. Monkey by nature is very restless, jumping from one branch to other, never keeps quiet. You can see the monkey's eye and see restlessness manifesting there, restlessness of his mind. Which plant to, which tree to climb, which fruit to pluck. And nowadays monkeys are like not even plucking the fruits from the trees. They are taking out the glasses from the human beings in the temples. Just you go to the temple and they are so trained themselves to just take out the glasses from a person. And then they will hold it until they get food from that person. If tree doesn't give food, human being has to give food. And when they get some food, they will throw the glass and the person will get the glass. That is how the restlessness, because they are always worried for food. So monkey is representative of mind. There is one verse in Hitopadesha that Swami Vivekananda quoted in the West. Markatasya surapani tato vrishchika dangshanam tanmadde bhuta sancharo yada tadva bhavishyati. How is the mind? Mind is markatasya, monkey, surapana, has drunk wine. Restless by itself, now it inebriated, intoxicated, no limit to restlessness. Tato vrishchika dangshanam. Above that, there is the scorpion bite. Bite of scorpion is a simple, ordinary, calm, tranquil person also will jump if a scorpion bites. It's so painful, burning. And this monkey, restless by nature and drunk, and now it has been beaten by the scorpion, stung by the scorpion. Not yet finished. Tanmadde bhuta sancharo. Now to this monkey, the demon, the ghost has entered. Now ghost makes one restless, jumps, runs, like that. And this monkey is now caught by the ghost, by the demon. That is the condition of the mind of ordinary person. Our mind, if you see how restless it is, we can understand that. What is, Swami Vivekananda describes, what is the wine? Wine is desire. Mind restless and desire makes us more restless. There is no end to our desire. Hope it will not snow tonight and it will be warm, it will not be like -10. Look, desire, there is no end to desire. Whatever the food prasadam there will be very nicely cooked, or maybe talks will be very nice and nice to hear. And speaker also thinking, hope this hall will be full, and people will all attentively listen. The speaker may not say very nicely, repeat the same thing, and hoping that, desiring that all will be very attentive to him, and always smiling and as if reciprocating that. Like that desire for everyone, no end to the desire. And this desire is the wine to this monkey, restless mind, and that. And after that, vrishchika dangshanam, stinging by the scorpion, that is jealousy. Oh, this jealousy is such a poison. It just makes one so feel bad and restless it makes, that some person's goodness you cannot stand. Nothing happened to you. You are as where you are. But other person has become better and happier and prosperous, and everything bites you like the scorpion bite. This jealousy of a scorpion is most devastating for the mind. But we have that side of thing. And what is the ghost that possesses this monkey? It is pride. Now seeing the goodness of others, now you swell with your pride. Whatever you have, whatever you don't have, you just make it, magnify it. Oh, I am such a good singer. I am such a good cook. I raise my children so nicely. Nobody else is so great parent like me. I am such a good teacher. Like that thing, so many things of pride comes, which mostly are untrue. And some little truth and more magnified yourself, that there was no problem. Problem is making yourself so big and then expecting others to believe the same what you have imagined in your mind, and then others won't believe because you are not very different from other persons. And then the anger, oh, I am such great and that person is respecting, giving me due respect. That often happens in our office. I am better than any other colleague. And then other colleague gets promotion. Then what happens? Then pride is wounded and you are very sad in your mind. Oh, I think I'll quit this office. They are very racist. They do not like this person. They like only people of their race. Like all these thoughts. How did you get job? How are you in your position now if it is all racist and all bad? All this pride, unfounded pride, is your ego being hurt. All that comes and imagines many things which are untrue and gives you trouble. And Swami, last evening I could not sleep. This much injustice in my office, all this pride wounded. There was nothing injustice, everything was done according to thing. If there was so much injustice, you would not be in this country, you would not be getting job, you would not be working with the colleagues, you would not get so many promotions. Finally it might have not happened, but all blaming on others and making your pride, ego inflated. And suffering, who made this suffering? Not that you are not getting promotion, but the suffering was made by your own pride, not able to take the situations as it should be taken. So if you had been promoted, what about the other person, your competitor? He or she will not get promotion. What will happen to her? That you don't think. Because you don't think that person deserves. You think only you deserve. That is the pride. And that makes you restless. And what is the fruit of restlessness? No sleep at night, no liking food, no meditation. Japam I cannot do today, I am very restless today, and all is justified because of your pride and your jealousy and your attachment and desires. Buddha also said there are three kinds of poisons in the world. That poisons, he said, is the poison of life is attachment. Getting attached to the thing you like. Something in the world is in front of us. And we immediately divide the world into two things. One thing we said we like this, other thing we don't like this. Whatever you like, you want to grab, possess, get attached to that. Whatever you don't like, you hate. You become very jealous of that, hating, aversion to that. This attachment itself is a poison. And this unlike thing, you don't like that somehow. There is nothing in the thing that your mind creates dislike. And there is aversion. Second poison according to Buddha is aversion. And the third poison, the cause of these two poisons, is ignorance, is mental makeup. Just making this is good, this is bad. But this is your mind making. In thing itself, it is not there. But your mind starts thinking that this is good and this is bad. These three poisons, attachment, aversion and ignorance, they shake us in our world, in our life. So, Sri Krishna said to Arjuna, don't be ruffled by these mental thoughts. Attain equanimity. That Sri Krishna said, attain equanimity, equality, try to see the thing in an equal vision. And that equanimity attaining, for that what he has to do? Control your mind and try to understand the thing as it is. Don't give your own opinion and your own idea upon the things. And things are that way created. Accept the things as they are. Samatvam yoga icchate. Be a yogi and be equal to everything. Have an equal eye. Arjuna said, Krishna, my friend, it is very good you said, have control over mind and have an equal eye upon the things. But controlling mind is so difficult. Mind is not simple things. Swami Vivekananda said, monkey bitten by a scorpion, drunk with wine and possessed by ghosts. Arjuna has also to say something about the mind. He said the mind is chanchalam hi mana Krishna. By itself it is very restless. The very nature of the mind is restlessness. Mind doesn't want to stay at one place. It is like a small baby that either it will sleep or it will move and it will walk. Baby will not stay quietly. Like that is the mind. It will not stay quietly. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. It's the nature of the mind. And it is not simply restless, but it is pramati balavad dridham. It is turbulent. It is not just like restless and doesn't disturb me. It is very turbulent, pramati, and powerful. I am not able to control this mind. It's very difficult to control. And it is dridham, firm, obstinate. It doesn't change its nature. It won't sit at one place. I try to control it. It won't happen because it's not only by nature it is restless, but it is very firm in its own nature. When you say control your mind, Arjuna, how can I do that? Is it possible? Arjuna put to his teacher, to his friend, when he became teacher, the Lord himself, and Sri Krishna said, you are right, Arjuna. Mind is really restless. And he said, but it can be controlled. It is difficult but not impossible to control the mind. And he said, to control the mind, you have to practice two things. One is practice, another is dispassion. Asamshayam mahabaho mano durnigraham. There is no doubt, Arjuna, what you said. It is very difficult to control the mind. Durnigraham. But abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena jagrihate. Try to control it slowly, gradually, give time to control it, and it will come under control. What you are saying, pramati balavad dridham, all its power, you become more powerful than the power of the mind. Mind's own nature, restless nature, and its turbulence, and it become very powerful and obstinate. All can be put. A child can be taught to sit quietly, and children are taught to meditate. Come and sit, meditate. If you have the knowledge how to train a child, it can be trained in meditation. Like that is the mind. Try to control the mind with the practice and with dispassion. One is how to do it, and what is the reason for mind's restlessness. Reason is, it gets attracted to the things, with the ideas and the objects of the world. And it brings up many responsibilities and good name that I have to think about this thing, I have to worry about my child, or I have to take care of my parents. And this worrying and taking care are two different things. Taking care is very good, but always worrying for your children or your parents or your colleagues or your office or your work is not the right thing to do. Doing things properly may be done without worrying for that all the time, brooding on that. So that is what Sri Krishna says, that you can do with dispassion, vairagya. Things in the world will go on like that. You cannot change the world. You can try to do it as best as possible, but things have their own nature. Person has their own personality. You cannot make every person like Sri Ramakrishna, every girl like Holy Mother. You can try to do that, you can pray for that, but everyone has its own nature. So don't be dissatisfied with that, and don't be totally attached and try to do something that is impossible. What is not impossible is to control your mind, but to make everyone like your dream is not possible, because what you are trying to make may not be perfect, but what God is trying to do according to that person's samskaras and that person's abilities, that is what will be done. Try to give a boost, pray for that person, for your baby, for a colleague, for a person you want to help, but that much, Don't have anxiety for those who are under you. Don't have that desire of vairagya. That's what is vairagya. The desire is a wish to have the goodness in others manifested. That is very good. You want some people to good. And you always pray, Durjana Sajjano Bhuyat, Sajjano Shantimapnuyat. May all the wicked person become good. Pray that. Pray that. May all wicked become good. Sajjano Shantimapnuyat, Shanto Muccheta Mandika. And who does good may attain peace, to have the tranquil mind. And those who have attained tranquility of the mind, may they be liberated from ignorance. Shanto Muccheta Bandebhyo. May their bonds of ignorance be loosened. And for those who have gone beyond the bondage, may they make others free. Shanto Muccheta Bandebhyo Muktas Chanyan Vimochayat. Have that prayer. But will there be no bondage in the world? Will there be no people who are ignorant? That will be there. But there is goodness in even praying for this. At least one person will be good by your prayer, and that is you alone, that you are wishing good to the whole world. And if your prayer is really sincere, it will have its effect and impact and touch on other person's mind. So prayer is that powerful thing. So that is how the tranquility of the mind can be attained. Sri Krishna said that abhyasa and vairagya. So to attain the tranquility of the mind, the one thing that we can do is strengthen the willpower. I will make mind pure. I will not be disturbed by anything that comes in my life. Some person insulting me, some desires not being fulfilled, heavy snowfall of like 20 centimeters, nothing will disturb me, because in winter snowfall will be there will be people, some will praise, some will blame, there will be insult in the life. But why do you take that insult being given to you? If that is right, try to correct yourself. If that is wrong, just ignore that. That is done. So with that, our willpower is increased. And when we have our strong willpower, our mind is not affected by the world. Mind is like a flame of the candle, and the wind is always blowing, and little wind blowing, and the flame wavers. Now make that flame firm. Wind will not stop, but you have to make that flame strong, that the wind, the breeze, anything will not shake that mind. And that can be done. Flame cannot be done that way, but your mind can remain firm by your strong willpower. I will not let my mind disturbed by the situations. Sri Krishna said in the Gita that whatever you enjoy in the world, yehi sangsparsaja bhoga, dukkha yonaya evate. Whatever are the enjoyments, worldly enjoyments, whatever there, are the source of misery, dukkha, suffering. So, don't be indulged in the things of the world. Don't try to find the joy in the things of the world. Then where to seek that joy? That joy is within you, in the purity of your mind, in the controlling of your mind, in the tranquility of your mind. Alone there is joy. There is joy in the peace of mind, and that one has to think and know. By this knowledge we try to strengthen the willpower. Sri Ramakrishna said there are three kinds of joy or happiness. One is Vishayananda, the happiness that comes from the objects of the world, from the relationship, from eating, from doing the things, from seeing the places, going to a different place. All these, they give joy. All are Vishayananda. If they are caught hold of only that, then they will be a source of suffering. I go to Paris, oh what a nice city Paris, I like to sit there, but visa finished, you have to come back to Toronto. Oh, there is no Eiffel Tower here, there are no so nice palatial buildings. And then you feel, if you are attached to that place, then you suffer attachment. Sansparsaja bhoga dukkhayo. All your sansparsada, all bhoga become born of the attachment or joining of your senses with the objects that are the source of misery, dukkhayo. So try to not be attached to the things of the world. Adyantavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. They have the beginning, this attachment to the senses, and they have the end. The beginning gives happiness, end gives misery. Every sansparsaja bhoga will have beginning and end. Every joy or happiness or pleasure that comes from our senses attaching to the object, and we'll have the beginning joy there. And there will be end. And there is unhappiness. Adyantavanta. Nateshu ramate buddha. If you have strong willpower, if you are a wise person, you will not be indulged in sansparsaja bhoga, in the pleasure of the getting from the objects, by your senses getting attached to the objects. So, willpower has to increase for that. Vishayananda, temporary, not very deep, and very flimsy, as it is there for the time when senses are attached. You get little joy, after it is removed, little suffering, and if you have more desire to have that, then the misery. And otherwise, if you say, yes, enjoy, it's fine. Paris was good. But I am very happy here wherever I am. Whether I am in Toronto or I am in Faridabad, wherever I am, I feel happy. I have gone there, seen the world. One Swami used to go to different places, and he went many centers. And he said, you know why I visit many centers? Not to see how big they are, how glorious they are, or what a wonderful arrangement, and the shrine, and the building, and the land. But I go to see how my center compares with their center. And so far, I have seen many centers of the Ramakrishna Mission. I have not found anyone that is better in every respect than my own center. So that is a good way to love your own place. You are everything is joyful, you go there, but love your place. That's what Tulsi Das said. हाजी हाजी करते रहिए सबसे रसिए सबसे बसिए सबका लीजिए नाम. Be friendly to everyone and go to all the temples, go and repeat the name of God. Everywhere you go and be with them. Haji haji karte rahe. Okay, that you are good, your thoughts are fine, your way of worship is good. Yes, what you are striving is fine. Baithe apna tham, be firm at your place, like your own place, like your own ideal. Be firm to your ideal. So that's what Tulsi Das said. So second joy is the joy of bhajanananda. Now the joy in love of God. Bhajana is worship of God, singing for God, thinking of God, talking of God, idea of God clear in your mind, and you want to relate that. There is a great joy when we talk about God. There is it supersedes the joy of sense pleasure. So it is about the bhajanananda. When there is a beautiful reading, when you read from Swami Kripamayananda, our people read, visited today, or Deepa's beautiful song today. So we'll come to that. The gist of song was the real tranquility of mind can lead to that, Sharanagati. The only mother is there. And the beautiful songs he said is that now all raga, viraga, huye. The word you have to think, huye. And moha is gone. The moha is gone. It is not that I gave up something that I like, but all my attachments are gone. My moha is gone. Not that I had to give up forcefully. So that is the sign of tranquility of the mind, and surrender. It comes from surrender to God. Now you fully resign to the will of God. You are in the hands of someone who is always taking care of yourself. One person was traveling in the train and was carrying his luggage. And people said, why are you carrying the luggage? No, I want it to be with me. Put it there in the train. It will carry, luggage will be carried, you will also be carried. It is carrying the whole thing. No, I don't want to be separate from my luggage. I want to always have it. And you then have the weight on you. And our case is like that, exactly like that fool who is inside the train and still carrying his luggage suitcase on his head. We are all being carried by the divine power. And yet we say, what will happen if it didn't happen, if something goes wrong, if we are doing nothing. All things is done by the Divine. Divine Mother is taking our care, she is moving us in our life from birth to this age up to the death. She is the one who is all promoting, she is the propelling, the force for propulsion of our life. But yet we think we are moving our life and we have to carry of our life. If we don't worry what will happen, no faith in Divine, that gives trouble to our life. So, there is Brahmananda, when you merge in God and you realize God totally, and that bliss cannot be compared with any of these. In Taittiriya Upanishad, it is said, what is the human joy and what is the joy of the knower of Brahman. Many steps, 11 steps, each steps into 100 times. Like that it is described in the end of the Taittiriya Upanishad. So, that's how this tranquility of the mind can be attained by having the stronger willpower. No tranquility of mind without having the control of mind. And without tranquility, there is no happiness. We all seek happiness. And happiness can happen by having the tranquility of mind. And mind can be tranquil only when we can control it. Ashantasya kuta sukham. If mind is restless, how can you expect any joy? All happiness is the peacefulness of the mind, not agitated mind. Only that peaceful mind is the real peace, real joy. They say that we seek that joy. And to seek that joy, as Shankara said, manushyattvam, mumukshutvam, mahapurusha samsraya. All these three things we have got by the grace of God. Desire to be free from ignorance, and human birth, and a guide. But there is another proverb in India, Guru, Krishna, Vaishnava, Tiner Daya Holo. I have been so much fortunate to have the grace of teacher and God and the devotees, Vaishnava, the good persons. All I got in my life, I have my ideal, I have a teacher who guides me, and I have company of friendly people who are always helpful. But still I am not progressing. Then what remained? Ekir doya bine jeev chare khare gyalo. There was one more thing needed, whose compassion and grace I had to secure. That I didn't get, and by that I could not progress in life. What is that one which is needed? We are even over the grace of God and the teacher and the devotees, that one is mind. So this mind is, its grace is needed. What type of mind's grace? The mind which is pure. Now controlling the mind, which mind can be controlled? Impure mind, the mind filled with pride and jealousy and hatred and attachment and greed, that cannot be controlled. To control the mind, it has to be purified mind. When mind is pure, then willpower becomes strong and controls. When mind is impure, then will becomes weak. It cannot control. And then the mind controls willpower. Mind says, desire this thing, take me there, want this, treat that person that way. Mind starts controlling the will, the intellect, and you become totally under the control of mind. Ulta samajli Ram, then where is joy in such case? So, this willpower has to be, mind has to be purified to control. What happens by the controlled mind? Concentration, the power of concentration comes. By having that concentration, knowledge is gained. And when knowledge is gained, that is power. Concentration of the mind, people can, when they read in short time, not only they remember, they also understand in the right way. When they see people and talk, they can understand what is meant. So when mind is concentrated, by being purified, your personality changes. And this integration of personality happens by controlled mind. And when the personality is increased, integrated, and there comes the strength of the mind to face all the situations, adverse situations, difficult situations. You don't become fearful or afraid in difficult times. So strength comes, tremendous strength comes for a person having controlled mind, purified mind. And for such a person who have this concentration increased, for such a person, there is always calm, forbearing and forgiving. He can forgive the people who treat you in a different way other than what you would have liked to be treated. Only pure and controlled mind persons can give that. There comes progress and prosperity and peace attached by having control over the mind. It is said in the Vedanta that ahara shuddhau sattva shuddhi. How to purify the mind? Mind is purified, sattva is purified by having the pure food. That is said in the Vedanta. So what is the food that makes mind pure? It is the food that we eat only with our mouth, but the food that we intake through our eyes and through our nose and through our ears, what we hear, what we read, what we see, what we watch, if those things are pure, then the mind becomes pure. Ahara shuddhau sattva shuddhi, sattva shuddhau dhruva smriti. When the mind is purified by taking the intake of pure things, then our memory becomes pure. Dhruva sattva shuddhau. When the mind is purified, then memory becomes firm. Sattva shuddhau dhruva smriti. What memory becomes pure? That real memory, that divine is within me. God is the one whom should I surrender. I'm all taken care of God. Divine is moving my life. All this resignation comes. Mother, I am resigned to your feet. When that happens, dhruva smriti. And smriti lambe vipramoksha, sarva granthinam vipramoksha. All knots of our heart, sarva granthinam vipramoksha, all knots of our heart gets opened, loosened, untied by the memory of the reality. What is this knot? Knot is all our desires and our karma. All that goes away when we have the memory of the reality, when we have the knowledge of reality. The challenge is to transform, to change our mind, the quality of our mind from tamas to rajas to sattva. Sattva, shuddhi, that's why it said more emphasis on not on mind, it says sattva. The first tamas, the lethargic and slothy and deluded, that type of mind, always self-centered, that type of mind has to rise into active. There should be passion, there should be desire to attain something, to do something good to the world. All is this rajas, all it comes. Though you want name and fame, but by even serving others you want name and fame. So that type of thing happens. Rajas has its own side effects. It brings anger, aversion, arrogance, egoism, envy, jealousy. All are the byproducts it comes when mind is at the rajas level. So it is not the ideal level. It has to go to sattvika level, sattva level, from tamas to rajas to sattva. So in sattva level, there is no desire for oneself. It enjoys serving others without any self-centeredness. The work is same, your action is same, passion is same, but the center is changed from yourself to others. So it becomes sattva. What helps in that? Holy company is a great help. Association with the holy people. So Sri Ramakrishna says the worldly man must constantly live in the holy company of the holy men. It is necessary for all, even for sannyasin, says Sri Ramakrishna. But he says for the worldly people the disease is chronic and they need more of holy company to get rid of all this ignorance and all this tamas and rajas of the mind. Other thing needed is positive, the practice of the pursuit of the memory of self and loosen the desire for worldly objects. I need to know the divine that is within me. I need to know myself. And the rest of the things, little work, responsibility done, but the main focus will be on the realization of the truth. So, it can be attained by, in the yoga it is said, Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upekshanam, Sukha, Dukha, Punya, Punna, Vishayanam. How to train the mind to live in the sattva. Friendliness towards happy. That is one thing. When you see people are happy, have a good feeling in your mind. If you are pure-minded, you will not have jealousy. Some is prosperous, there is success in somewhere, you feel happy. So, friendliness towards happy. Patanjali said, compassion for the unhappy. There are people who are not happy. Be compassionate, pray for them. That is another thing. And delight in the good. Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upekshana, Punya, Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upekshana, Punya, Punna, Vishayana. Sukha, Dukha, Punya, Apunya, Vishaya. In Punya, Vishaya, in the good, delight in the presence of good. And indifference to the evil. Don't be disturbed by the evil. Indifference in that sense. Not to have any connection with the evil, not that. But there is evil in the world. So don't be disturbed by the evil. So practice deepening of thought. We often just lose and think only in the surface. So if we try to go deeper in the thoughts, have questions on the subject that we hear, listen or we read, and want to go deeper and understand the thing, that also helps in controlling the mind. And practice of pratyahara. When we try to sit meditation, as we said, let us have short meditation. There was no meditation at all. That was just thinking of trying to do pratyahara, thinking of some one object, like the flame of a candle, or the luminous face of a divine, your ideal, or some good thought of love that flows everywhere, or thought of purity in the heart of all the devotees of the temple or church. Like those thoughts, you want to meditate on that, but for that, you try to think of that and mind goes to something else. Oh, that person is good, but where is that person talks a lot about herself. Like that, tongue deviated. Now you say, no, not that. I have to think about the goodness of that person. This bringing the mind to what you want to think is called pratyahara. You want to think the image of God in your heart. You are thinking, and the thought goes, oh, it's night already, it's getting 8 o'clock, perhaps the bell will come or Swami will ask me to go in time. If I don't go, he may feel bad, or food will go cold. This mind is traveled from thinking of the divine to something else. Now you bring back, no, that was wrong to think. This bringing back the mind to the object of your meditation is called pratyahara. Practice pratyahara often in your life. Try to focus your mind in some particular thing and do it by pratyahara. After pratyahara comes dharana. Then mind remains there for short time. And when dharana is deviated, like the wind flickering the candle, then again you do pratyahara and practice dharana. You can hold. Dharana means to hold. Hold the mind for more longer time on this object of your meditation. And when that is done, try to do it more longer. When it is done for a longer time, then it's called dhyana. Dhyana doesn't happen in 1 minute. Dhyana will take longer time, 7 minutes, 5 minutes, and there will be no thought. Some says this meditation, let us do meditation. Meditation doesn't happen that way. Meditation happens by itself. Let us try to do meditation. Let us try to concentrate our mind. Let us practice pratyahara. That can happen. Let us practice dharana. That can happen. But meditation, it happens by itself. When dharana is for a prolonged time, then meditation already happens. People say, as you cannot sleep. You can try to sleep, but sleep happens by itself. What do you do to sleep? You try, you go to bed, you lie down, everything you try. But sleep happens automatically. It just comes. Like that, meditation also happens the same, but it happens through pratyahara and dharana. And when meditation becomes deeper and longer and firm, then samadhi will happen. Pratyahara, dharana, dhyana and samadhi. These are the steps of yoga. So giving good thought to mind, always feeding mind with good thoughts. Like you say, Shankaracharya, that famous song, Bhaja Govindam, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dukriya Karane. One person was learning grammar, and Shankara said, "You are studying grammar at this age, but that will not help. Worship God, think of God. Grammar is good for certain time and certain thing, but ultimate learning of grammar is to understand the scripture. And studying the scripture is to understand God. And ultimate is Bhaja Govindam, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dukriya Karane. Prapte Sannihite Marane, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dukriya Karane. Death is inevitable, it is coming. When, which moment we don't know. And you are only learning the script, learning the subjects and wanting the things of the world, no end to it. That will not help. The death cannot be conquered by learning and possessing and their glory and fame. Death can only be conquered with the help of God, by being devoted to God, by worshipping God, by thinking and meditating on God. Death can be conquered. Fear of death can vanish, can go, and death, as we read today's reading, how Swami Kripamayananda ji was not afraid of death, and the good moment of meeting my beloved will come when Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother will come and I will be able to meet them. So that type of idea comes. Death is no more abhorred, no more hated, and it says that is a beautiful moment, as Buddha said to the person who fed him something was contaminated and he died. He said, two persons did the great things in my life. One who saved my life when I was dying because of extreme tapasya, austerity. That Sujata gave him the food. He ate and he gained strength and sat for meditation and attained Bodhi. Another person equally important in my life is this person who fed me the food, and by that I get poisoned and am now getting delivery from the bondage of the body and going to attain the nirvana, freed from the bondage of body. It is equally important. So death is not something that should be hated. Everything is fine. And in Kripamayananda's life is heard that how long he suffered, 5 years, and why he could be so peaceful, because he had attained the tranquility of the mind. Holy Mother, that's why said that if you want peace of mind, don't judge anyone. That is the greatest thing that disturbs our mind. We are always judging. We all have become judge of the Supreme Court. Oh, this person is good, that person is wrong, the act of that person is wrong. That person's mind, his thoughts are wrong. How do you know that person what he thought? Not knowing, but you imagine and you superimpose that thought, whatever in your mind, in others' mind. And then you say, oh, that person is wrong. This judgment, this type of mind will never get peace. If you want peace of mind, don't find fault with others. Don't judge others. Accept all as they are. And find the positive in others. Like Swami Vivekananda, who was insulting him. He said that man was good, must be very loving. But his love was confined. It was not broad enough. He loved the person who spoke like him and dressed like him and ate like him. But there was love in that person. How positive, you see, this type of positive thing in our thought. And of course, to attain the tranquility of the mind, we need to practice japam, unceasing prayer and meditation. Repeating God's name immediately connects with the idea of God, which is the source of all peace. God is all tranquil, serene and peace. And when we connect to God by repeating His name mentally, we bring that peace in our heart. Our mind starts being tranquil with that power. And the prayer always, as everyone used to pray in Thomas A. Kempis, that book you read, that he used to pray all the time, unceasing prayer, Lord Jesus Christ, have mercy on me. And like our mantra that has been given by our Guru, that is also prayer. And the prayer, what is the meaning of that prayer? I surrender myself to you, O Divine Mother, O Lord, Teri Sharan Oma, like that thing, is our constant prayer. So this repeating the name of God that we have got, the mantra, will make us connect to God, and we'll get the tranquility of God into our heart, and our mind will be tranquil, purified, where the truth will be reflected, and there will be all positivity, friendliness, goodness, and joy will come in our heart. And when we are joyful and happy, like any other thing, like the COVID-19 or influenza that is infectious, when you have COVID, if you go to that person will catch COVID. Like that is the joyfulness. It is also infectious. If you are really joyful and pure in heart, when you reach other person, they catch that joy. That joy is infectious. Purity is infectious. Other person will also feel the importance to become pure. Inspiration comes. So we need to give much effort to make our mind tranquil, and by our prayer, meditation, japam, and living a decent moral and ethical life, and treating everyone as our own, the whole world as our own. The whole creation is the creation of our beloved God. So, loving the whole creation with our heart, that will make our mind tranquil. Thank you.